Hello. Hello. I really hope that OBS is working. I've been trying to get this stream to work for the past like 40-ish minutes. Hello everyone. For anyone that's managed to join yet, it is I, Professor Chimp. And if you hear anything in the background, it's my dog Nemo being weird. Oh, Valley Nipple Hair, welcome to the stream. Yeah, no, this was actually annoying. So, I was mentioning this earlier, but my oh wait, is the music loud? Hold on. I got you. Let me turn it down. How about now? Is the music too loud? Jeff, Spinoir, Rex, Trenton, hello. 700 mil, welcome to the stream. Oh my god. So, I made that announcement to start the stream at 9 o'clock EST. All because, and I was so confident that I already had OBS installed. But I completely forgot that I bought a new PC back in like December. And in my new PC, I didn't have OBS installed. So I thought, oh, it'll be easy. I just gotta install OBS and then set up like the layouts on OBS and I'll be fine. And then I realized that, oh, wait a minute. OBS isn't letting me use multiple sources for music. Wait, that's weird. I was able to do that before. So I spent the last 30-ish minutes going on various Google forums, searches, trying to figure out why the hell I wasn't able to use various music slots anymore. Long story short, I had to install a plugin to make various music slots work. It's weird. What if Universe? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, no. Again, I was just so confident that I already had OBS installed, and I forgot that I didn't have it on this computer. I had to reset all of the different scenes and whatnot. But we're fine now. We're fine. It took a while, but we're fine. Bruno, thank you for coming to the stream. Bruno says, you took a long time to make Goku with UI early. Yep, I sure did. I mentioned this in a community post and also in some of the comments. But long story short, it was a mixture of real life responsibilities, lack of motivation to continue working on videos, and a more of a shift in focus from my own channel to commission work for other YouTubers like Smugstick and Dragon Ball Hype that really maybe just kind of like neglect my channel for a bit. So I was focusing more on those things. But one of my goals for this year in particular is to get back into my own channel and start releasing more of the videos I want to make again, and try and find that balance between other responsibilities, other channels, commissions, but also my own stuff, right? So, again, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that I'm setting more goals for the channel and going back to making those weekly video uploads along with those community posts that share my schedule, so that not only are you guys more aware of what I'm making, but also to hold myself accountable, to keep myself on a tight deadline, so that I'm motivated to continue working on videos. Oh my god! Mystic Angel with the $20 sub for Shokin? The Shokin Dragon Ball? I think that's my first ever actual like monetary donation. Thank you so much! Oh, one of these days, I gotta set up a notification alert for whenever I get donations. That's wild. Okay, you know what? I was gonna make a list of what ifs to talk about for today and discuss. But seeing as how Mystic made the donation, he's at the top of the list. So yeah, let's go with a what if list. So at the very tippy top, I have to do this now. What if Shokin was in Dragon Ball? Or I guess what if he's Dragon Ball. What if Shokin joined the Z Fighters? Okay. What else? I remember in the last stream from last year, we were going to discuss what if Tarbell was Gigachad, or aka what if Tarbell, I guess, joined the Z Fighters. I think that makes the most sense as well. What else? Someone mentioned in the chat earlier. What was it? Yeah. How Slick Techno King said, "Hey Chimp, how would you feel about doing a what if for Goku, the Omnitrix, and Ben 10?" It's really funny you mentioned that. Over at the Smug Squad Discord server, for many years now, the regulars and I have had this ongoing discussion about Ben 10, the Omnitrix, and Dragon Ball. Where it's not only the Omnitrix, but also Ben and Gwen and Grandpa Max and a lot of the main characters from that series being in Dragon Ball. And it was a massive passion project. Wait, hold up, let me bring up one of the things we did, because we ended up making a graphic of some of the aliens we wanted the Omnitrix to have. So in this infographic that was made back in, like, what was this, 2020? I think it was late 2020. We made a list of aliens that we thought would work for this Omnitrix and Dragon Ball. So from left to right, we had Frost Demon, Saiyan, whatever Goldol's race is called, Namekian, whatever Yakon is, I forget what they're called, Konatsun, Yardradian, Tuffle, Konatsun, that's what they're called, yeah, I think it's Konatsun, and then Metal Man. That was what we ended up choosing back then. But again, this was 3 years ago. This was, I think, before the Mortal arc was, like, ending. So if we were to do this list again, I definitely think we'd remove the Goldol race, and we'd remove the Konatsun. So this guy with the sword. I would probably replace them with a Cerulean, a Granola, and have the other replacement. What would the other replacement be? I don't know. What's another what's another unique alien species in Dragon Ball that you didn't bring up? I guess maybe Demon. Something that's, like, focused on magic, maybe. I'm not sure yet. But I definitely do want to make what if the Omnitrix or what if Ben 10 was in Dragon Ball eventually. Mystic says I do the Hedgehog alien. Well, that's the thing. We already have this guy. We have the Yardradian, which is teleportation. As long as you hold on to him, you can teleport. So we already have teleportation in this list. Glass people? Oh, that's right. The glass people from Heroes. Ooh, that's pretty pog. Oh, yo! The Glacian could be a replacement for Diamond's Head. Yo, let's go. That's just an excuse to make another Diamond Head. That's so cool. Man, my favorite Ben 10 episode was when he became a Glassy and then he said he was gonna glass all over those fools. That was so cool. Also, this would be the first time we would see a male Glassian, because we've only seen female Glassians in Heroes. But regardless, anyways, besides that tangent, let me just, what if Omnitrix was in Dragon Ball? Okay, so let's pick 2 more. Let's do 2 more. Is Kaya race? I mean, I guess they are, but I guess you could have it be a Kai or a demon, because they're both like the same thing. What if Jiro and 19 were the main villains? Sure, why not? What if 19 and 20 were the main villains of the Android saga? Pog. Alright, one more. Let's do one more. Namekian transforms with drum, tambourine, and piano. I mean, the children of King Piccolo, they're technically Namekians still, but they're called Dark Vassals in extended material. I guess they technically count. Do you guys think that if someone were to cut Tambourine's arm off, would he be able to regenerate? He probably would, right? It's just that he died because he got disintegrated by Goku's Kamehameha. But do you guys think that if they cut off like a pinky or something, it regenerate? Probably, right? Probably, yeah. Oh my god. Could you imagine like someone like Tambourine getting like his potential unlocked by like Elder Guru? He becomes orange. Orange Tambourine. That sounds like a Beatles song. Flowing down on the orange tambourine. What if Steve Harvey was a Dragon Ball? Listen, What If Universe, listen. I'm already going to do What If Steve Harvey was in Dragon Ball. If only because I have a moral obligation to hold my promise to my friend. Silver, I know. Silver, I understand. I'm working on it. Expect that in April. What if the Shadow Dragons turn good? I mean, isn't that what happened at the end of like GT? The Shadow Dragons died, therefore they were reborn as Shenron, and then he went away. That's technically what happened. What if the Tuttle and Saints were allies? What if Zamasu had more allies? I mean... Oh, this reminds me. Okay. So guys, let me tell you about some ancient Professor Chimp lore. Back in circa 2020, yeah, so back towards the end of 2020, when I first started getting into the What If scene by like joining Smug Squad server, one of my very first interactions with Smug was me introducing myself and pitching to him an idea. The idea was along the lines of what if Zamasu had more allies. I think the project was called Dragon Ball Zamasu. And the premise was that future Zamasu doesn't just recruit Goku Black. Besides that, they decide that they need more tools to enact their Zero Mortals plan. So what Zamasu and Black does is that they go to other timelines of Universe 7 and they recruit other fighters who they can use as tools for their Zero Mortals plan. I remember in this initial pitch, I think the list of fighters we chose was Goku Black, Zamasu of course, and then we chose Super Boo sell a version of Frieza that had gone insane, Kakarot, aka a version of Goku that became a typical Evil Saiyan. What was the other ones on the list? I don't remember. Oh no! Hold on. The street. Ultra Instinct Goku decided to version the stream. I think I know why. It's because so in my list of songs that I chose for the stream, some of them are MP3 files, but then some of them are just flat out just like recordings of songs that I got from YouTube. So I think that's what happened. Hold on. Let me get rid of that. Oh, that's so funny. Alright, let's see. So, if I'm right, the ones I need to get rid of is UI Goku, right? There we go. Alright. Hey guys, let me know if any more jump scares happen. So yeah. You know what? For old time's sake, I'll do what if Zamasu had more allies / Goku Black arc rewrite. We'll leave it there. So let's see here. Is the background still there? Oh, that's really funny. Here, let me just. There we go. Pog. Alright, so I'm gonna do these 5 for right now. I'm going to set a timer on my phone. And I'm going to go ahead and do my best to talk about these various topics within, I want to say, 10 to 20 minutes. Oh! Mystic made a good point. I really should announce this stream on my own Discord server. By the way, guys, I have a Discord server that I announced in my recent video of UI Goku Early Part 3? Yeah, Part 3. I recommend that you guys join my server so we can continue discussing about all these juicy what-if premises. And as well as a place just kind of hang out in a chill environment and talk about what you're passionate about. Let me just go ahead and make an invite. So let me just go ahead and do this. Join the Discord. I'll pin this. Yeah. Let's go. Alright, cool. What? Mystic, hello? Another $20? Shokin uses illusion and speed as a fighting style. I'd say after his father gets sick, he also wants to become a healer and create more healing techniques. That's pretty pog. That's pretty pog. You know what, Mystic? Just for you, I'll give Shokin here like a solid half an hour of discussion. And I'll make the others about 10 minutes long. Just for you. Just because you've been such a sport. These donations. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and set my timer. Alright. 3, 2, 1, and start. Okay, so... Shokin time. So... If my understanding of Shokin is correct, I've only ever seen OG Dragon Ball filler, I think, once in my life. I've read Dragon Ball a lot, especially OG Dragon Ball's manga, but the filler I've only ever seen once when I was like 10. But if I remember correctly, I remember the base premise for Shokin in his introductory filler is that, like, it happened during the time period between Baba's tournament and the 22nd tournament, right? And goes to the village, and he finds, like, this school. I think it's called, like, the something star school. Yeah, so he's from... Okay, so let me just do this. It'll be easier to do it this way. This guy's very own wiki page. From Goku versus the Sky Dragon. First aired in September 23rd, 1987. Oh, wow. But yeah, so it's while he's just exploring the world, he ends up finding this kid who's a member of the Chin Star School, and, like, his father is sick, and he's, like, starting to do things to try and, like, help his father, like, steal his wallet, but, like, there's a rival faction called the Rising Dragon who are just assholes, and are pretty much blatant copy / prototypes for the Crane School. His father had a unique Phantom Star technique. That's pretty pog. What is that? Oh, it's just the after image. Okay, never mind. Never mind. But yeah. So, like, Goku helps him out. He defeats the mean Sky Dragon people. What's the Panther Cyclone? Oh, okay, so it's like he just spins around. Okay, interesting. But yeah, so I think how this could go is Goku does end up, like, helping out the Chin Star School. He defeats the evil Sky Dragon people, and everything goes well. He's thanked by Sky, who's, like, the leader of the Sky Dragons. He's like, oh, you've taught me the errors of my ways. And they make Goku a snack before he leaves. So what I can really say is that I think how I would approach this is Goku meets Shokin, like, in the filler episode. What's it called? Here we go. Yeah. And then where is this? So I would think Goku probably leaves to continue his adventure. But Shokin never forgets about the brave little boy who saved his family and brought honor back to his dojo. Mystic Angel with another $20 sub, hello! Phantom Star is not just the after image technique, it's its own version of it which misdirects the opponent by making it so after images of only your arm appears with points nowhere to look at. This reminds me of what King Choppa has, isn't it? In the 22nd? Because he has this technique where, like, his arms are moving so fast that it looks like he has, like, 6 arms. It reminds me of that, actually. Rajmain says, what if Dragon Ball Turbo was constant? You know what? I'm surprised there isn't enough oil twerking in Dragon Ball. That's what I think that there should be. Like, there's no reason why Vegeta and Goku shouldn't have, like, a lot of oil on hand for special attacks. That's just my personal opinion. I just think Toei's a bunch of cowards. Anyways, no, don't ban Raj. No, not like this. So I guess after this point, we would have Shokin would probably end up taking his training seriously. He'll start taking his training seriously and learn the techniques of the Chin Star School and the Sky Dragon School. He is inspired by Goku to become a great martial artist. So what was his father's name? Master Chin, of course. So Master Chin. Master Chin and Sky agree as they spend the next, like, 3 years training Shokin. He'd probably end up learning, like, the fundamentals of martial arts, and let's just say that because Shokin was very diligent in his training, he's able to learn. I don't think he'd master the abilities of both schools because he's a novice, essentially. I feel like he'd probably have. He developed a stronger foundation of martial arts, and he probably understand the fundamentals of, like, the techniques, so of, like, the Panther Cyclone and the Phantom Star. But, like, it wouldn't be perfect. Kind of like how not Yamcha, but how Krillin wasn't able to use the Kamehameha, like, initially, because he had to learn how to use it. Unlike Goku, who's, like, you know, the martial arts genius who could mimic things after seeing it once. So yeah, I would say that, like, Shokin would be he'd be very diligent in his training, unlike before, and he have this, like, goalpost of Goku Surpass, which leads to really intense training. I definitely think that I don't think he'd be able to use these techniques, like, off the bat, but I'm pretty sure he'd be able to, like, be a better martial artist. So better fundamentals of martial arts and grasp on Panther Cyclone plus what was everything called? Where is it? Phantom Star. But still can't replicate perfectly. 20-second World Tournament time. Shokin leaves his village to join the World Tournament. Not only does he feel that Goku will join, but he also wants the prize money. In order to buy more medicine for his dad. So he has that secondary goal. Mystic says, Chimp, you gotta memorize techniques. I'm sorry, I'm just now understanding that that the Panther Cyclone and I already forgot what it's called, the Phantom Star are their own unique techniques. Let's see here. Mystic, I understand that you're you are the #1 Shokin fan. If I can understand anything, it's that even in the heat death of the universe, Mystic will be here to represent the singular Shokin fan. No matter what happens, he'll be there to support his boy. Oh, but yeah, so let's go. Shokin enters the world tournament during the qualifiers. He meets Goku and friends. So Goku's glad to see him and introduced to the rest of the Turtle School. Tien and Chaozu would probably just talk to them. Introduce themselves as well as Shokin thinks they suck. So pretty much, I think it would make sense for Shokin to replace one of the jobbers from the martial arts tournament. Because in the 22nd, there's 2 jobbers. It's Pampoot and it's Wolfman. Those are the 2 jobbers. I really don't want Goku just defeating Shokin in qualifiers, but I definitely think Shokin should lose to someone in the tournament. If Shokin ends up replacing Pampoot, then what happens is Shokin will fight Goku. He's gonna lose. Which that could work since Shokin's goal right now is to surpass Goku, but I feel it's too early for him to fight Goku. If he fights Jackie Chun, then this means that Shokin would end up getting essentially taught by Roshi in the middle of the match, and Jackie would show him he'd point out the problems in his fighting stance and go, oh, you almost have a grasp on those techniques, but like, you're gonna hurt yourself, kid. This is how you use that technique. I like the idea of like Shokin being overconfident in his abilities and thinking that he'll end up being able to like beat Goku at this point, but then he gets humbled in his very first match of the tournament by Jackie Chun. But not only is he humbled, Jackie will still teach him like some important lessons of like, oh, there's bigger fish out there, kiddo. You keep working on your training, focus on your fundamentals, and striving to improve yourself at every turn. Don't give up. You have promise. So I think, let's say, yeah, I like that better. Shokin replaces Manwolf. Shokin versus Jackie Chun. And then Shokin loses. Let's do this. Shokin is overconfident in his abilities. I can't spell, but he is quickly humbled. He tries to use the Panther Cyclone, but becomes dizzy. After using it for too long, and then let's say he tries to use the Phantom Star, but Jackie is quickly able to figure out his moves. Jackie quickly turns the match into a training session. So yeah, so Shokin loses, but not before learning a valuable lesson. There's many more powerful fighters out there in the world, and he should continue to improve himself every day. It's pretty pog. Let's see. Mystic says, I'd have him use the Panther Cyclone and Jackie hops on his head, calling it a weak point. You right! You right! Jackie jumps on his head and calls it a weak point. That's pretty pog. That's pretty pog. Let's go. So let's see here. And then that's right, because Manwolf is gonna be angry forever, because he'll stay a wolf. So he's gonna become Majin, and he's gonna be a problem in the Buu Saga eventually. That's wild. Yes, Mystic. As we all know, the Panther Cyclone is just like the cross split attack. The absolute perfect maneuver that cannot be deflected and cannot be dodged. Truly a perfect move. But yeah, so then Shokin stays in the audience stands to spectate. And he's like, oh my god, these guys are really good. Shokin sees the rest of the matches. So like the Krillin, Goku, Tien fights. And realizes just how strong these guys are. He has a long way to go before he can beat anyone. Shokin isn't upset that he lost anymore. He feels renewed determination. And I'll say like the King Piccolo stuff happens. So here's the question: would Shokin be involved? I don't think he would be. I think what will probably happen is that like he'd be with Goku's friends when Krillin's killed, right? They discovered the body, and then when Shokin is like, "I want to help," Roshi would tell him, "Hey kid, just go home. Just go home and be with your father." Because this is the Demon King Piccolo that we're talking about, and he's after martial artists. I mean, no, but here's the thing. I know he's in the tournament bracket, but like, there's a list, right? And it's an error in the filler. It's an alphabetical order. Because one of the last guys Tambourine tries to fight is Yamcha. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. Mystic, I'm cooking. Hear me out. Going off of what happened in the anime filler, let's say that Shokin is told by Roshi to go home. Shokin's like, no, I want to help. But then Roshi's like, don't do it, kid. You're not ready yet. Go home and lay low, because your life is in danger. Let us handle this, but you need to stay safe. So Shokin goes back home. And when he goes back home, he's a target of Tambourine. Okay. So then Tambourine is ready to kill Shokin because he's on the tournament roster list. But then, who's there to defend Shokin in his time of need? It would be none other than his father. So Master Chin, and it would be the Sky Dragon people, including Sky himself. So it would be the Sky Dragon School and Master Shen appear to defend Shokin. And then the two schools, the Sky Dragon School and the Chinstar School, work together to fight Tambourine, and they get mollywopped, they get bodied, because Tambourine too strong. You could make an argument. Oh wait, I guess there's also a Panther Fang School. All right, cool. But yeah, so I would argue that Tambourine is way too strong. And even though, like, Master Chen's, like, really good at martial arts, I don't think they'd be strong enough to defeat Tambourine. I think what would happen is that Shokin has to pretty much see his entire dojo be massacred in front of his eyes. So everyone that was in his dojo, these guys... These right here, everyone in this photo besides him, they're all gonna die. All of them. They all get killed by Tambourine. And then Shokin sees this and he's like, you know, he's traumatized. And he's like, oh my god, this all happened because I was too weak. This is all my fault. If I hadn't left to join the world tournament, my father and my dojo would still be alive. He internalized it and go, this is all my fault. But before Tambourine can kill him, this would be the point where maybe Tambourine, like, I don't know, maybe he, like, throws Shokin into, like, a building. And he assumes he died. And then he gets contacted by King Piccolo, telepathically, like in the main story. Because, After Symbol was killed by Yajirobe, King Piccolo felt his death, and he contacted Tambourine, saying, oh, hey, one of your siblings died. Go get him. Go find that killer. So what would happen is, so Tambourine tracks down Shokin at his dojo. He wants to kill him, because he's part of the world tournament contestants. The entirety of the Chinstar School would defend him, and they would all die, including Shokin's dad. And Tambourine thinks he kills Shokin, but before he can be sure, he gets summoned by Demon King Piccolo to find out who killed Symbol. So he'd leave. So then Shokin is left by himself, just kind of like filled with a lot of angst. And he'd hate, like you said, Mystic, he'd hate himself. He would hate himself for seeing not only his father but his new family just get massacred in front of his eyes, and he realized, I'm very weak and this is all my fault, because if I hadn't joined the whole tournament, they'd still be alive. So then Shokin would have this angst, and he'd probably try and leave to go track down Tambourine or something. Or maybe he ends up being so distraught that he ends up having to he tries to bury everyone in his school. Kind of like how Upa buried his father. There's a lot of people in here. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at the very least like 7 people in this photo. There's probably more, because it's an entire dojo. And this one guy in the back, he's super big. He's like 8er sized. Let's just make an assumption that it takes Shokin like 3 days to attempt to bury all these people. And then as he's about to bury the final person, which is his father, the Dragon Balls are brought back because the King Piccolo saga is over. No, Piccolo was defeated and the Dragon Balls are back. And Shenron is used to revive the people killed by King Piccolo and his men. So as Shokin's about to bury like his father and the last person of like, you know, of like his dojo, they all come back to life. And everyone's like, oh my god, what is that? What happened? What happened? So thanks to a miracle, the Chin Star School is revived completely. And everyone's happy. And Shokin has like an emotional breakdown. Like, oh my god, Papa, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. And then his dad is like, no, son, it's okay. You tried your best. What matters now is that we were like revived from the dead. It's a miracle of God. Because guess what? It kind of was. And then Shokin would resolve himself like, I'm going to train extra hard so that no one can make me feel as weak and defenseless and worthless as I felt that day. So then Shokin would do 100 sit-ups instead of 50. He'd do 100-mile lap jog instead of 50. He'd drink more juice than before. I'll write this down actually. Shokin is told to go home. Shokin returns home as Tambourine arrives to kill him. Chin Star School tries to defend Shokin, but they are massacred. Shokin barely survives. And then Tambourine is summoned by his father to track down the killer of Symbol. He leaves. Shokin is traumatized. Spends the next 2 days or so burying his fallen comrades. Shenron uses his magic to revive everyone killed. King Piccolo and his men. Shokin and the rest of the dojo are very happy, but Shokin is extra determined to not be weak anymore. He wants the strength to protect others. There we go. So yeah, let's go. Let's say that now he trains more diligently. He drinks more juice. And then 3 years pass. 23rd World Tournament time. Shokin, who's like, he should be like 17, right? He's the same age as Goku, right? He's about the same age. Is Shokin younger than Goku? How old is he? Does it even say? I don't think it does. Yeah, no, it doesn't. I'm going to go out on a limb that he's about the same age as Goku. Maybe like a year younger, maybe. So let's go off the assumption that during this time skip, Shokin ends up looking like an adult. Like he's 17 or 18, right? So let's just agree that he's adult-sized. Now a young adult joins the new tournament. He reunites with Z Fighters, and Goku is surprised at his growth. He can tell he has become a lot stronger. Okay. Let me think. How strong is Shokin right now? After all of this serious training and having the power boost of seeing his entire family die in front of his eyes. So, the emotional damage. That's why. Let's assume he's like Yamcha Krillin level. I don't want to say he's stronger than Krillin, because Krillin's also a prodigy. I would say Shokin is about the same level. He's about the same level as, like, Krillin and Yamcha. But behind Tien. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Because Tien is like a prodigy, and he's also spent his entire life fighting. So it'd be unfair to have Shokin just be stronger than Tien. I think this is fair. Okay. Who would Shokin fight? Oh man. Who's getting benched? I got it. I got it. Alright, gang, hear me out. Hear me out. What if Kami decides I'm not going to possess this random old man? What if Hiro is not possessed, but Shokin is? What if? I say this because I really don't want to I really don't want to bench anyone else. Because like the cyborg Tao fight is really important to Tien's character. The Chi-Chi fight is extremely important to Goku's character. It has to be Hiro, right? It's got to be him. Because I don't want Shokin to lose in the qualifiers. Okay, so how about this? Shokin goes through qualifiers and sweeps. First match, Shokin versus Yamcha. So let's just say that, okay, so it's been 30 minutes, but I'm having a lot of fun. So I think I'll stop after we're done with OG Dragon Ball. It's been past 3 minutes. So I think what happens here is the battle is very close. Shokin and Yamcha are about the same level. Shokin reveals that he's finally mastered the techniques of the Chin Star School. So the it's called Phantom Fist, right? Phantom Star. I was so close. Phantom Star and Dragon Cyclone. Yeah. Panther Cyclone. I'm so close to these names. So both these techniques are mastered and have no weaknesses. However, just when it seems like Yamcha is about to knock out Shokin, the young man falls limp. When Yamcha goes to check, Shokin's eyes widen and he starts to act a lot more confident, and nonchalant. Shokin can't be touched now. It's almost as if he's a different person. In a single strike, Shokin defeats Yamcha. Everyone is shocked at Shokin's sudden performance, but both Piccolo Jr. and Goku are suspicious. When Goku tries to talk to Shokin, he acts very strange and aloof. Mystic says Dragon Cyclone could be an evolution for 10 years later. Yeah, maybe. We can talk about that maybe in our stream. So I'm having fun with this. Maybe we can make that like the topic of the second stream for this year. But yeah, so let's just finish this off quick. So then, second match: Shokin Kami versus Piccolo Jr. And Piccolo wins the match, of course, but let's just go over it real quick. Piccolo and Shokin have an intense battle because Shokin's body is toned and forged by many years of harsh training. Kami has much better control over said body. It can take a lot more abuse. Therefore, Kami is able to fight / perform much better against Piccolo. It's revealed that Kami is possessing Shokin, which Goku had already figured out. He plans to seal Piccolo away in the Mafuba, but it doesn't work. Kami separates from Shokin before he is trapped in the Mafuba. Piccolo wins. Shokin has no clue what just happened. One minute he was... Actually, wait, hold on. Is this... Okay, so... Should Shokin be aware what happened? That's too easy. I don't want Shokin to forget everything. I want Shokin to remember this. I want him to remember this feeling. Mystic, I like your idea. I think it'd make much more sense if Kami was talking into Shokin's mind and he allowed himself to be possessed. And so he's aware of what's happening. Shokin regains consciousness and he's mad about what happened. As it turns out, Kami spoke to Shokin earlier during the Yamcha match through telepathy. After some quick explaining, Shokin decided that protecting the world against the demons that killed his dojo was more important than his rematch with Goku. Shokin allowed himself to be possessed, and he was aware of what was happening as a result. Shokin is pissed. He obviously hates demons for what they did to his dojo, but Goku promises to defeat Piccolo. And then we can say rest of 23rd tournament remains the same. Goku defeats Piccolo. And then what I think will happen next is when Goku declines his Kami's offer to become the new Kami, Shokin decides that this is his chance to become stronger. He approaches Kami and requests to be trained. Kami would already know that Shokin has a righteous heart, and he'd agree, but only if he manages to climb Korin's tower and pass the trial at the top of the tower. Shokin accepts, and after the tournament climbs the tower and does the bell test with Korin. Shokin eventually passes thanks to his what's it called again? What's it called? I'm blanking. Where is it? The Phantom Star. Shokin is granted permission to go up to the lookout, where he begins his training with Popo. So yeah. And then 5 years pass. Cool. It's well past 30 minutes, but that's a-okay. I just wanted to at least to finish this Dragon Ball portion of this little plot point. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Shokin, and thank you, Mystic, for the suggestions for your boy. And I appreciate the donations as well. Thank you very much. It's gonna go straight towards more funding for editors for videos. Spicy. And then Raditz shows up, and Shogun's gonna have a bad time. But that's a story for another time. Next, what if Tarble was a Gigachad? All right. I'm going to very quickly speedrun this. Hey, yo, another $20 donation. Let's go. Thanks for the script. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. A minor idea. Maybe the possession works as a minor potential to unlock Shokin. I feel like being possessed by Kami would make Shokin be aware that he has more potential in his body. I feel like it wouldn't be... How I word this? I feel like it wouldn't be an immediate potential unlock. I think what would happen is he become aware of what his body is capable of doing. And I feel like that's what Kami would tell him during the training. Kami would tell him that, like, you have immense potential because I used your body for a reason during the tournament. You're capable of so much more if you are just able to forgive yourself. I feel like one of the main things that would happen with Shokun's training with Kami is that Kami would help him get through his grief and his trauma, which would allow him to go beyond himself. He'd forgive himself and be able to master his spirit, which is the foundation for things like flight and key attacks and so on and so forth. Anyway, that's for later. What if Tarble is the Gigachad? Okay, so my understanding of Tarble has been expanded very recently because I'm now aware that the planet that Tarble went to, planet Tech, it had backstory. Like, there was a manga that was made back in like the early 2000s where planet Tech was like a major part of the story, right? Yeah, here it is. It's from this manga. There was an environmentalist manga that was made in 2008 that was commissioned by like this environmentalist organization, by the Anjo Rule Society Project, a non-profit that organizes extracurricular activities, lectures, and other sessions at elementary schools, kindergartens, and elsewhere on the importance of agriculture and nature. So they commissioned Toriyama to make this manga about a planet covered in pollution, except for a single island full of life. So there's actual backstory to Tarble's planet that was only ever released in Japan to promote environmentally friendly practices, which I think is hilarious. There's so much detail to this place, holy moly. But yeah, so I think the way to go is that Tarble, we have to expand Tarble's backstory, right? So like, Tarble was born, labeled weak by his father. He is banished to planet Tech. Tarble arrives and he is raised to be a compassionate soul. As a result of his great strength compared to the rest of the Tech inhabitants, Tarble is the protector of, what's this place called again? There's a name for this. What's it called? Is there no name for this? There we go. Guru Island. That's what it is. Oh, Guru Island. Which is the final island full of life on the polluted planet. So let's just say that spending several decades defending his home from poachers polluters, and other dangerous threats. Tarball's power increases to... How strong was Tarball in Yo Son Goku Returns? How strong was he? Because he lost against Avocado, and they were stayed to be Frieza level, right? He would have to be like... Because what wanted to happen is he still gets defeated by Avocado, right? Let's just say Namek Saga levels. So like Captain Ginyu level. Sure, why not? Makes sense. Avocado. Go to Tech. And Tarball is unable to defend his home. With no other choice, Tarball retreats to Earth to find his brother. Yo Son Goku and friends go as normal. However, Tarball attempts to intervene during the fight when it seems like Avocado tries to kill everyone with a Brotherhood Gallic gun. Vegeta encourages Tarball to break his limits. Are you going to let these monsters destroy this planet? Destroy this planet and then you're home. Tarball breaks his limits, becomes Super Saiyan for first time, and defeats the brothers with Vegeta's help. Oh, $2 donation from Andrew Santana. Thank you so much. What if Goku had a split personality like Launch? Funny enough, I had that idea a while back where Goku hitting his head just meant that he had another personality. So like whenever he gets like hit in the head, he ends up like developing personality traits. So like he gets another personality, which is Kakarot, which is more violent. I remember that I had the idea. So it would happen. He would go throughout Dragon Ball, like having this issue where whenever he becomes Kakarot during very stressful situations, he blanks out, doesn't know what happened, kind of like the Ozaru state. But then eventually, when he trains with Kami, Kami sees this evil within him, and he separates that evil half, which is Kakarot, and he uses the Makupa to seal it away. But then, because of plot reasons, the Makupa jar has to be unsealed during the Saiyan Saga threat. So Kakarot is there to help against the Saiyan invaders. I would have to write this down and flesh it out more later. But I think the idea of like, what if Goku was also Kakarot? Like, it has potential, but it needs a lot of nuance. Because I don't want to be disingenuous and just go down the easy lazy path of, oh, it's a split personality. Let's stigmatize people with this disorder for a story. You know, like I feel like that would be a disservice to people who actually have this condition. I don't want to like treat it as like some kind of like gimmick or joke either. So I'll try and find a way to make it more nuanced, but also maintain the idea that like Goku has like another personality locked within him that comes out during certain situations that he doesn't understand. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, so Tarble. Let's say that, yeah, Tarble thanks Vegeta and becomes friends with Abo and Kato. The 4, which includes Gray, leave back to planet Tech. Let's see. I guess Tarble is inspired by Vegeta's lesson to continue pushing his limits. Because as he would say, Saiyans have no limits. That's a very Vegeta thing to say. Tarble returns home and trains with Abo and Kato. With their fusion state and Tarble's Super Saiyan state, they make incredible gains. Within the next year, Tarble would master Super Saiyan, while Abo and Kato increase the fusion duration. I guess the fusion timer. Because if I remember right, their fusion also has a timer, I think. Does it? I'm pretty sure it does. I think you mentioned that before. Let's see here. Oh, they were in they were in Heroes, and they worked for Kuriza. That's wild. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Akka's power surpasses Gotenks. I mean, that is true. But the thing is, I don't think Gotenks ever used Super Saiyan, right? He never used Super Saiyan against Akka. But yeah, anyways, let's just say that, like, Tarble matches Super Saiyan, and then Abo and Kato increase the fusion timer. I think it's accurate. I think what would happen next is... what would happen? Let's see. Mystic, welcome back. Jeez. I wanted to say thank you for coming and so long, but I see you returned to the stream. the Kuriza announcement must have been very, very important to you for you to come back. Ayo Demon with the $5 donation. Thank you so much. Don't have a what if request, just want to support a little. I appreciate that immensely. Thank you so much. These donations really help out. They'll help out whenever I have to make a commissions for art or for editors. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Let's see. Meme says Tarble, Kuriza, Abo, and Kato replaced Tien, Krillin, Roshi, and Frieza. I like the idea that, like, Tarble ends up getting a friend group, and they go on their own adventures. Oh, I got it. Okay. Some time passes. One day on planet Tech, the Frieza Force invades. I think is what has to happen. Frieza, the Frieza Force comes to invade, but it's not Frieza. It's his son, Kuriza. While Frieza is busy invading Earth, he creates a son and sends him off to planet Tech Tech in order to kill Tarble, one of the last known Saiyans, and the traitors Abo and Kado. I think this makes sense. I think this is a good setup. Kuriza and minions attack Guru Islands. The soldiers are all jobbers. Kuriza comes out and he's very strong. Abo and Kado. Abo, Kado, and base form. Tarble can't touch him. Akka is created and he is able to hurt Kuriza. However, he enters his final form, and when the fusion separates, he mortally wounds one of them. I don't know. Kado. Sure. He mortally wounds Kado. Abo breaks down in tears, and Tarble loses it. Super Saiyan 2 Tarble versus final form Kuriza. Doesn't exist. I actually thought about that too. I thought about having Banyu also be a part of Kuriza's minions. You know what? Sure, why not? Banyu, the last remaining Ginyu Force member, is the only elite soldier on Kuriza's team. However, once she sees how strong the opposition is, she decides to just go back into the ship. Because I remember Banyu is kind of like that. She only fights in battles that she knows she can win. And then if it's too much, she'll just go, whatever, I'm out. So we have, yeah, so Super Saiyan 2 Tarble versus Final Form Kuriza. Battle is very close. Kado is revealed to be alive. He joins his brother and Tarble in a final combined beam clash that defeats Kuriza. Kuriza cries in frustration like a little baby, but he gets comforted by Gure of all people. Turns out Kuriza likes to be coddled. His temper tantrum ends and the invasion of planet Tech Tech ceases. Kuriza decides to leave as long as he can brag to his papa that he won. Tarble and Co. don't care as long as he stops hurting them and doesn't destroy the planet. I think that's fair. Frieza leaves. Especially once he receives news of his dad's demise. Frieza immediately returns to planet Tech and cries. Ure comforts him. Frieza decides to stay. He can rule the new Frieza force from here. Frieza ends up becoming close with Tarble and pals. Okay. That's enough for now for that one. Yeah, I was thinking that Frieza could end up becoming Tarble's next sparring partner, and then they all grow in power by a lot, actually. I was thinking that from this point onwards, Tarble has a good understanding of Super Saiyan 2. And his one day during training with Frieza and like his friends, he becomes so strong, and he uses so much energy that he gets detected by Goku and Vegeta on Earth. So I think what could be interesting is if Goku and Vegeta teleport to planet Tech, where Vegeta has a quick rematch with Tarble, and he goes, "Oh, you become strong really fast in a short period of time, a lot of potential." And then they invite him to the tournament because they don't believe that they don't have faith in Majin Buu staying awake for the tournament of destroyers. So yeah, I would say I would have Tarble replace Buu in the tournament of destroyers. And because I want to have Tarble fight Kaba. I want the fight to be relatively exciting. But the problem is that Tarble will be so grossly outclassed by Kaba, it's not even funny. Because Tarble's gonna have like he has Super Saiyan 2. What does Kaba have? A base power to rival gods. Because power scaling is fucking stupid in Dragon Ball Super. It's ridiculous. Alright, I'll do one more. And then I'll end the stream for tonight. It's getting pretty late. What if 19 and 20 were the main villains of the Android Saga? Okay, I remember this from... I did a similar idea in the Smoke Squad server. I want to say about a year or two ago. The Android Saga, okay. If I remember correctly, the way the story went is that 19 and 20 attack. Their fights against the Z fighters go as canon. 19 is destroyed and 20 escapes. Jiro returns to lab and activates his backup plans. Jiro releases all of his androids. So what I mean by this would be, the idea is that instead of creating 16, 17, and 18, it's Joro reached out to the surviving members of the Red Ruin Army and the ones who had the most anguish and regret towards what happened to the army, and he turned them into androids instead of just two random teenagers. So the idea is that we would have like android Ninja Murasaki and like Ninja Colonel Silver and so on and so forth, right? Maybe an android that resembles General Blue, stuff like that, right? So these androids would show up and they would distract the Z fighters long enough for Joro to get some blueprints and some data from his lab, and he retreat to a new lab. I would argue that Android General Blue and an upgraded General Tao would be really powerful, and I would have it so that the upgraded General Tao would probably defeat most of them. He'd probably defeat Tien for sure, because it's payback for what happened during OG Dragon Ball in the 23rd World Tournament. So Tao gets his revenge. Most of the it'd be interesting if Tao is the one who breaks Vegeta's arm, and he's just like, "Oh, you're a second fiddle. You're a waste of time. Where's Goku?" Vegeta's like, "Oh, you don't need Kakarot because I'm here. Come fight me." And then Tao defeats him, and he's like, "Oh, you're a failure. I don't care about you. Where's Goku? You're boring." So that'd be funny. So then Joro escapes, and he decides to take... I would have this. I would have him go grab 19's destroyed remains, like his hard drive maybe, and he bring it back to his new lab, where he brings out another copy, or like another copy of the Android 19, and then he activates the rest of his failsafe. So my idea would be, yeah, yeah, you're right, nipple hair. Android Blue would find Trunks very sexy. I agree. He would find him sexy. I agree. But I think what I would want is, have you guys ever played Sonic Heroes? Because in that story, it's revealed that Eggman built an entire army of Shadow the Hedgehog robots. So what I think should happen is that Joro had planned ahead, and he built like an army of Android 19s. And then while those androids invade the Earth, he's going to be busy with one of them and have that remaining Android 19 upgrade him, and then he'd upgrade that Android 19 with the data that he just received from himself and the destroyed 19. So the upgraded 19 and 20 are going to have data that keeps the new power levels and Super Saiyan in mind. So these theoretical upgraded 19 and 20 are going to be like semi-perfect cell levels, I'd argue. So yeah, I would say Joro would probably call himself like Android X or something. No, he would still call himself 20 and 19. Maybe Android 19,000 and Android 20,000, something like that, right? And then when they're done being rebuilt, is at the point where the Z Fighters have to, like, you know, try their best to dodge the remaining Android 19s and the Ribbon Army. They get tracked down. They fight the army again. And then we have to the point where 19 and 20 come out. And they try and they go to fight Piccolo. Because they're trying to find Goku, so they go to Roshi's house and they find Piccolo there. And then 19 is able to hurt Piccolo really bad, but like he's not getting killed super easily. Then Trunks and Vegeta arrive. And Vegeta gets his revenge by like molly-whopping 19, while Trunks defeats some of the other army robots. So yeah, so Vegeta would destroy Android 19 again. And then so what would happen next is Jiro is just like, grr, bark, bark. If only I had more data, I could defeat you all. And Vegeta's like, oh, can you? You should totally do that. So then Jiro's like, all I need is just the remains of Android 19. And Vegeta's like, alright, bet, go take it. So then Trunks tries to fight his dad and be like, Dad, stop being stupid. We gotta kill the android. But Vegeta's like, no, I have pride. Let me have this. So then Jiro takes 19's like hard drive, his machine parts, and he pulls an Android 13 and he fuses with the robot parts and becomes Android X. It would be imagine Dr. Jiro with his hat, but he fucking looks like Super Android 13. He becomes Android X and he demolishes Vegeta and Trunks. Yeah, I'm leaning more toward Super Android 13. I remember Smug and I gave this exact same pitch to Smug when we were writing Fusion Early Part 3. If you guys remember that old series. When we were writing that series out, I pitched the idea that, oh yeah, Jiro should have Fusion in mind for the Android Saga. And so when 19's destroyed, he absorbs his computer parts like 13 did. He becomes buff and blue. That's how that idea came to fruition back then. That reminds me. Hopefully one day, very, very soon, you will all see return of What If Goku learned Fusion early one day in Smug's channel. No promises, but something's being cooked in the back burner, so keep that in mind. But yeah, so then Android X wrecks everyone, and then Jiro's like, alright, I'm going to conquer the world now. Would Jiro decide on a Cell games? I don't think he would. I feel like Android X would want to conquer the world as soon as possible. So, like, he conquers the world, and as he does this is the moment when Goku and Gohan leave the time chamber. So then the heroes regroup on the lookout, they get new armor and sensu beans, and they all go towards the king's castle where Jiro is. So then Jiro, as Android X, would have his last remaining followers fight the heroes, while he goes to fight Goku. So Jiro versus Goku would be very thematic, because this is the man that Jiro hates the most in the entire world. And Goku would be responsible that this is his fault. If he had just made sure to defeat everyone in the army, this wouldn't have happened. It's his fault. And Jiro would just reiterate that yes, it was his fault. If he just let the army live and conquer the world, it wouldn't have happened. So yeah, I would say Android X still defeats Goku. For sure. But then Goku is like, that's okay, because my son's stronger than you. And Jiro's like, he just laughs and he's like, oh, you think your brat's stronger than you? You can defeat me? You're delusional. You're coping. Then Jiro fights Gohan, and it's not enough, even though he's still stronger. And then Jiro, I would say Jiro probably kills Goku, but not before Goku tells his son that it's okay to fight. He would give the Android 16 speech. So then Goku dies trying to protect his son. Gohan snaps, turns Super Saiyan 2, and he just demolishes Android X. And then, like, he sends his army of like, androids to fight Gohan. They all get murked immediately. They get demolished. And then Gohan does what his father couldn't, and Gohan defeats Jiro and destroys the rest of the army. So Goku's will is passed on to Gohan, and Gohan completes his father's mission of defeating the army. Goku's legacy in the end is stronger and wins out against Jiro's legacy, which was his androids. So yeah, I think that makes the most sense thematically. And of course, Tao would be destroyed by, like, Gohan. Gohan probably defeats Blue easily, no diffs. How will this affect Super 17's arc? Oh, I got it. Jiro uses himself as a basis, and then Jiro fuses with Mew. That's what happens. Jiro fuses with Dr. Mew. That's what happens. So he becomes Super Android 20. Based. Bastium Overload. But yeah. I think this is a good place to stop. It's getting very late. I'll talk more about Shoken and Tarble at another date. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe instead, what I'll do is I'll discuss more about Shoken and the Tarble stories in my Discord server. We'll continue those stories in that server so that we can all contribute to it together. And then next time, we can talk more about Omnitrix and Zamasu. And then get three other story ideas into slots. I think that makes the most sense. Charo, welcome to the stream. I'm about to end. I'm so sorry, Charles. You missed it. I'm about to end right now. Sorry, my boy. We will have to continue this another time. But don't worry, Charo. I showed off your fantastic Ben 10 in Dragon Ball roster to the people. And so, next time, we'll talk about Omnitrix, then Zamasu. We'll ask for 3 other ideas. Let me do this. This is done. This is done. Okay. So we can talk about these 2 next time. Have 3 other ideas in the next stream to put into the slot. And now, without further ado, thank you everyone for coming to the stream. Thank you to Mystic and everyone else who donated. Thank you, Andrew Santana. Who else donated? Thank you to D-Man. I really appreciate your support. Thank you guys for coming, for joining the stream, and for having a riveting conversation about these what-if stories. I'll try to come back here, let's see, next week. Maybe not Friday. But I'll try to come back at some point next week to do another stream. This was a lot of fun. You're excused, but I'm not your bruh. So true, bestie. So true. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for all your support. Join the Discord server. we're gonna talk about some of these stories there. And without further ado, I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.